How's it going, everybody? It's Mask here, and we got level 40 Super Joey gracing us with his presence in the duel world. I got Paradox Brothers here, and I have a deck that was, I will say, I was inspired by another YouTuber to put together. I will definitely link that in the description down below. I've made a little bit of modification to the deck that he used. Essentially, the only threat to Labyrinth Wall in the level 40 deck is the Spirit Art card. So in order to counter that, we're running 3 copies of Ultimate Providence. Discard a trap from your hand, negate the activation, but more definitely 3 copies of 7 Tools of the Bandit. This will also completely shut down that trap card. Dimension Gate will also shut it down by dimension gating your Labyrinth Wall while Spirit Art tries to target it. There's 9 cards that are going to shut it down. I'm running 3 copies of Good Goblin Housekeeping, kind of just because I want to start feeling it out in farming decks. But also we need trap cards to discard for Ultimate Providence. So the filler of this deck, which I want to be card draw. Obviously, you always want card draw as your filler. Needs to be. If I was running 3 Jars of Greed, the 4th one of these would be useless because by itself it's terrible. If you discard one of these by Ultimate Providence, the second one will be a +1. The third one is a +2, whereas every Jar of Greed is +1. So if you had overall, they're exactly the same if you use all 3 in a deck. But if you ever have to discard even 1 Jar of Greed, then overall, all of a sudden, your 3 Jars of Greed would be drawing less. Anyhow, the change I made from the deck that I was inspired by is I took out one of the Jars of Greed. I feel like Super Joey only has 2 copies of Blue Dragon Summoner. Meaning he has an overall +2 on his deck, so you have to match or beat that +2, or you threaten to lose, or he threatens to lose by deck out, which is not what you want while you're farming. We're gonna get from all 4 of these traps in total, we get +4. So our +4 should beat his +2 no problem, and I feel like we should be able to pull off that at least 2 of that +4 always. So I'm not worried about the deck out. Even that being said, we're running a Pot Bene. Pot Bene is coming in clutch here. I found actually the easiest way to guarantee you're not bottom decking Summoner of Illusions or Dimension Hole. Put 1 Pot Bene in your deck. Yes, Natic. Pot Bene is awesome. You've convinced me. But yeah, that one Pot Bene does so much. It's so versatile. It also protects us from the deck out loss. You can just use it to shove Joey's cards back in his deck at a last resort if you know you're not going to bottom deck Summoner of Illusions or Dimension Hole, which is our new end game because apparently, or it's just kind of easier to pull off than Circuit. We are throwing away the tribute point bonus, but I don't mind it. I'm quite a fan. And then someone told me Circuit was still bugged. I haven't tested that myself. I'm just not willing to test it. But if Circuit wasn't bugged, we could certainly do the Circuit ending instead. Just tribute summon Circuit over top of Labyrinth Wall. Only thing is, you then run the risk. There's 2 threats to your Labyrinth Wall, by the way. The other one is getting Metal Morph and Kunai with the Chain on a Red Eyes. He can kill your or Desert Twister, and then he will be able to kill your Labyrinth Wall. But once again, trap counters. We're running lots of them. Dimension Gate won't help you in that situation, but we're still got 6 versions of Trap Jammer. A lot of the cards that Joey activates, he activates out of the battle phase, so Trap Jammer is not suggested. That's why we're not running Trap Jammer. But enough blabbing about it. Let's jump into the deck, see how it performs. This is a dry run for me. On these kind of events, these non-gate events, we often wing it because we know the availability of the duelists to farm is not exactly what you wished it was. Oh, Yami Yugi. Nothing will ever be worse than the Yami Yugi events, though. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Awesome. We opened up with that. We'll hold on to the Dimension Gate for now. Actually, no, I'll set them both, I think. I'll set them both. Because you never know how many times he's going to use Stamping Destruction. Well, twice in total. But Summoner of Illusions, obviously we'll prioritize holding on to that because we never want to bottom deck it. So we've already guaranteed we're not going to bottom deck that card. We already have 2 trap counters in our hand. So they're both set up for countering the Spiritual Art Miyabi. That's fine. We'll take that loss. The other thing I was thinking of in this deck, and it'll take a couple playthroughs for me before I will allow myself to make it less protective. As you guys can see, I've essentially we've teched in like 9 cards just to counter Spiritual Art Miyabi. I mean, I've never went so ham ever before in a deck. safe-wise. So honestly, we are way overcompensating for the threat that's threatening us. So there's lots of room to take out a trap or two, and for example, put in is this just your opponent? Any? Okay, cool. There's lots of room to take out a trap or two and put in like a one or two hieroglyphic lithographs, just like our level 30 farm, just to help guarantee we're getting low life, because I have a feeling on the point spectrum we're going to have to get that sub 1000 life points in order to guarantee that we are going to get over 8k. But we'll see. There's quite a lot of wiggle room in this deck list as well, so I'm not too worried. He only has one Stamping Destruction left. Dimension Gate, Ultimate Providence. Is this your opponent? When any or okay, so I could activate Ultimate Providence, discard my Good Goblin Housekeeping, just to free up some room on the field. Or sorry, I could activate Dimension Gate, counter it with Ultimate Providence, and discard Good Goblin Housekeeping. No, I'm not going to do it yet. Now, the other thing is low life. So Joey can lower your life by 1,000 points in total. So you do want to pop 2 7 Tools of the Bandit. That's kind of a goal throughout this farm. That being said, I think because we have 2 of these, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So we know there's only one threat. It was one Spiritual Art Miyabi for the most part. I'm going to go ahead and counter my own trap here. Oh my gosh, I could counter it. Just to lower my life. Get my 7 tools activated. I'm fine with that. We'll set the other Ultimate Providence. He only has 1 Stamping Destruction left. We have the Good Goblin Housekeeping in hand to discard if he does activate Spiritual Art Miyabi. So we're fine. There's that Blue Dragon summon we were talking about. So we do need to get card draw. As you can see, he's currently... Oh, I totally forgot about the 2 cards we put back into the deck because of Labyrinth Builder. That makes the card draw even more important and might lead me to putting back in that second Jar of Greed. I completely overlooked that until right now. So we are we draw into being 2 cards behind him. So we just need to get two more cards. That being said, I'd put the Pot of Bene in here. Pot of Bene is going to be used exactly to put his cards back. We're laughing. Taking out, I mean, we took out a Jar of Greed and added a Pot of Bene from the original build. We actually made it better for losing the card to draw out. Good Goblin Housekeeping, you need to keep that in hand. We're okay to discard that because the first Good Goblin Housekeeping doesn't even give you a +1. There's the last Stamping Destruction. So we are golden for that. That's taken care of now. So he will no longer be wiping any of our cards off the field. We want to make sure we try to use our last 7 Tools of the Bandit that's in the deck as well. With the Dimension Gate, I can go ahead and use this now. I'll hold on to this Dimension Gate to discard with Ultimate Providence because the only thing left in the deck to threaten me is Spiritual Art Miyabi. Actually, I guess at the same time, Metal Morph and Kunai with the Chain will screw us over as well. Nope. Does this go and turn it to the bottom of your deck? That's another reason to run Good Goblin Housekeeping. I overlooked that until this exact moment. That is fantastic. Good Goblin Housekeeping will actually... We should have used our Pot of Bene there. Will actually... It does the guarantee not bottom decking for you. That's phenomenal. I just realized that now. I can't believe I overlooked how powerful that card is from a farming aspect. Pot of Bene, we know we're not bottom decking these because of the Good Goblin Housekeeping. So Pot of Bene is beautiful in the sense that it now gets to recycle these 2 cards for us back into Joey's deck. And we're caught up on the card draw. Good Goblin Housekeeping. That's actually... I totally overlooked the bottom decking portion of that. Now that we know he has all of his cards, we know so the Pot of Bene is also in case we ever have to, in case we ever overset a card, for example, and it gets killed by Stamping Destruction. So if you find yourself like this, because we don't have a 7 Tools of the Bandit down, we have an Ultimate Providence down, we need to keep this trap card in our hand. So we're forced to set one of our endgame cards, which can get you in trouble. Pot of Bene, there to help you out. Such a versatile card. There's 7 Tools of the Bandit. So now we don't have to worry about the Good Goblin Housekeeping though, being in hand, we can go ahead and throw it away. Not the second last turn yet. Now this is the second last turn, so we have to set Summoner of Illusions, play Dimension Hole. If you are setting any, you only ever find yourself hand clogged if you have literally every single one of your endgame cards in your hand. Make sure that you prioritize Dimension Hole. Dimension Hole needs to be the one you set because it will be the first one of your endgame that you use. Unfortunately, it does not look like... Oh no, we will get to activate. We will certainly get to activate it to counter the kunai with the chain. We are going to get to use the 7 Tools of the Bandit. Dimension Hole brings it back. We got flips. We'll flip summon Summoner of Illusions. Bring out the Blue Eyes Ultimate. Nope, we do not want to counter our own effect. Bring out Gravekeeper's Vassal. We're going to Secret Pass to the Treasure's Hymn. Oop. Set this to off because actually I can't afford to do that. Who knows when that kunai is going to pop. Now, ideally, he has kunai with the chain set, and we get to use this last 7 Tools of the Bandit, which will get us our low life as well. Well, he should activate it right now. Yep. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Do not counter our own counter trap. Low life achieved. Comeback victory. Golden. Golden. You know what? With the 3/7 Tools of the Bandit, you only have to get 2 of them off within the duel. And because you can self-proc, like I showed you guys, I am 100% on board with the low life here. I don't think it needs any adjustment. Scored 8,500 points, picked up the new rare card, and I had 400 and 300. So it's hitting that absolute, very typical farm we've been hitting with Union Attack lately, where it's 7,800 points. I'm still pretty on board with the room here. 200 points in Glossy should be no problem for you guys. Even like I said, you could take out 1 card. We're way overcompensating. I think we have 3, 6, 9 cards to counter Spiritual Art Miyabi. If I was to say the least effective one in the deck, I would. It's a tie between Dimension Gate and don't take out 7 Tools of the Bandit. But if you don't have 3/7 Tools of the Bandit, which a lot of you won't, don't worry about it. Just throw in the other. All your Dimension Gates, all your Providences, and you're probably going to be fine. Trap Jammer will counter kunai with the chain in the damage step, so you can throw Trap Jammers in as well, just for that to have at the very end. They just won't counter Spiritual Art Miyabi because he will always use that in the main phase. He won't use it in battle phase during the rest of the farm. So they're not as great for protecting your Labyrinth wall, so that's why I don't prioritize them. But to fill in the gaps, if you're missing the full set of the 6 cards that I'm using, then they'll do fine. But this is it. Like I said, unfortunately with these events, the video production is limited to how many times my Joey spawns. But we're going to be working on other deck lists. And yeah, guys, suggest more in the description down below. I'll definitely try any out that I think will work idea-wise. I can pretty much look at a deck list and see if it'll work. We're getting pretty good at that, but I'm always open to suggestions. Thanks for checking us out. Good luck farming Super Joey. I hope you guys get your Red Eyes Spirits and the name of that new magic card that is totally eluding me once again, Red Eyes Insight. Oh my gosh, those Red Eyes decks are just going to be on fire, even more so than they already were. But check us out on twitch.tv/MasKScarin. I do plan on getting a stream in later today. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got to do a little work on the house. Run to Canada Computers and back. I gotta swap out a computer part that's been acting up. But thanks for checking it out. And as always, guys, don't forget, stay classy.